He's going all the way. 20, 15, 10. Touchdown. Texas Tech takes home the victory.
Welcome to another episode of the Broadway Shuffle. Today, we are going to get into the Texas Tech versus Utah game. We'll go through our predictions and previews and much more. I am Brennan here with Zyler, Conrad, and Clayton. If this is your first time to the Broadway Shuffle, we welcome you. However you are listening, we appreciate you being here. So we're going to start before we get into the game and predictions and everything you need to know about the upcoming matchup with our first word with Zyler. You caused quite a ruckus on Twitter today, man. Why don't you tell us what's going on over there?
Yeah, I thought it was really cool that Utah announced a sellout for the game. I thought that's really fun. You want to play in really good environments, and I want to make this very clear. I have zero doubt that there's going to be a really good environment at Rice Eccles. I thought it was fun that there's a sellout, so I was like, sweet. I'll go click, see if there's any tickets available. And you would not believe it. They announced a sellout, and you could still buy tickets to get into the stadium. I just posted that. I thought it was funny. Maybe it was something unique that they did. Once again, I really don't care that much. Who cares? What kind of irked me a little bit is they say it's their 91st straight sellout. And it's like, if you're still selling tickets to the game, is it actually sold out? And you'll hear Utah people say that it's a capacity thing. So once they've sold enough in this vague general admission spot that they'll call that a sellout, even if there's tickets available. So it's not technically sold out, but they call it a sellout. And it caused quite the firestorm. If you haven't seen that on Twitter, it's amazing to me. If you say one bad thing about Utah, you will get 1,000 BYU fans in your mentions, just like going way further than anything that you ever said. So I thought that was really funny. And there were a lot of really fun Utah fan comments, and we had a good time there. I'm looking forward to a great environment Saturday. It's going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of people there, but it is interesting. What is a sellout? Maybe we need to have an episode in the off season of what actually constitutes that. I am very skeptical that they've actually sold out 91 straight games.
Yeah, so, man, fair point.
No disrespect to the Utah fans. No disrespect. But
total fair point. And the Holy War is a real thing there, BYU and Utah. Then you've got, I think as of now, the last time I looked, the tweet had like 50,000 views. So it caused quite a stir, man. It was really fun to read some comments. We were called names that I'm not allowed to say on the show, but it was pretty funny, man. Anytime you get people calling you names, you know you've done right. So it's been good, man.
They're not as bad or as vitriolic as the Colorado fans were to Conrad. So my salute to the Utah faithful. You have a lot more class than the Colorado fans. But yeah, it was really funny. Some of the comments were like, show pics. There's no way there's tickets left. And I was like, they're right here. There's tickets left. And like, that doesn't mean it's a sellout. It's like, it's still a sellout. It's like, well, what do you mean? If there's still tickets available, how can you say that you've sold out? It was just really funny, but we had a good time.
I also have not, maybe I'm not familiar with other stadiums' ticket policies, but everyone kept saying the standing room. I've never heard of a stadium selling those before the seats are gone. In college, I know that like NFL teams do that, but
sure, yeah, I think there's a couple that do it, but yeah, that's not a huge, definitely not something that they do very frequently. But that's fun, cool to have a standing room area.
Well, hopefully some Tech fans fill it up, Conrad.
Yep.
Zyler, let me ask you this: Are you trying to insinuate the University of Utah Athletic Department was lying? Just to be clear for all of our listeners out there.
No. I would never do such a thing. I would say that their definition of a sellout probably needs some clarification, and that 91 straight games is probably, it's a lot like the Nebraska sellout is how I view it. It's like, these are not real sellouts. We all know it's not a real sellout. Very
Nebraska just needs to give it up, man. Not a single person believes
so
that.
Ridiculous. It's like, I don't know. And it's like, nobody's saying that there's 100% butts in the seats for all of these. So it's just a stupid thing that who cares about?
10 a.m.
Except
kickoff,
for me, obviously.
10 a.m. kickoff. Maybe there's going to be some people be sleeping in. They couldn't get them all in. Who knows why? 10 a.m. for Utah people at least.
Did y'all see the graphic where it's like big noon stuff starts at 4 a.m.? Like if you want to get in line. Because it's so early on their side. So we'll see what that environment's like.
People sleeping over, right? Camping and everything, dude, I would imagine.
I don't know if it's once again, not familiar with the Salt Lake City nightlife scene for Utah students, but do you just like finish your nightly routine Friday night and just walk over to Big Noon and just kind of, I don't know, like maybe that's, you end your night with a Big Noon kickoff at 10 a.m. Maybe that's what they'll do.
I'm sure some kids will. Well, man, this game has been, for us, the most anticipated game all offseason. We felt pretty comfortable as we saw walking through non-conference. This has been one of the biggest matchups that Texas Tech has had in a long time. And the last time you had a ranked game at this where you were undefeated against another undefeated foe was 2013. I believe it was the Oklahoma game in Norman where Tech was 7-0 and OU was ranked in the top 15, 20 as well. So it's been a long time since Texas Tech has been on this stage on the road against a ranked opponent, being ranked as well. I mean, I guess the first question I want to ask before we get into more of who Utah is how big of a deal is this for Texas Tech after all the offseason hype to be in the national spotlight this early in the season?
I think it's awesome. I personally wish this game was like 4 weeks later because I feel like these two teams are going to win a lot of games, and this could be even more hyped nationally than it already is. But I don't know. I feel like real college football fans understand the importance of this game. It's definitely, in terms of like playoff implications, it's definitely the most important game this week, I guess, unless you think that Illinois, Indiana, maybe. But I feel like this one for the conference race is definitely more important than that. So it's crazy, honestly, to see Tech in a game of that caliber.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's games that got really hyped up for Tech that retrospectively didn't live up to their billing. And then there's games, the one I always go to is like last year, BYU at SMU ended up being a massive game and there wasn't really a ton of fanfare or hype around it. But yeah, I think maybe since Texas's last appearance at the Jones, it's probably the biggest game since then. There's just so much personal stuff with UT and all of that. But I would say, yeah, this is the biggest game since then for Texas Tech, looking at it from this perspective, at least forward looking.
Yeah, this is really what you've been working for. I mean, obviously we knew what the non-conference schedule was going to be, and now that you're here opening Big 12 play, and you're not just opening Big 12 play with West Virginia, you're opening a Big 12 play with Utah that is, by all metrics that we can tell, a great team. And so the hype for this game, I will say this, I wish it was in Lubbock. I mean, I think this game in Lubbock would be something that, I mean, I don't know, maybe that level like that Texas game, but I think with the fan buy-in, it'd be absolutely epic. So excited to see how it works out, but I think we're going to be in for a show on Saturday, and I think all of college football, like Clayton mentioned, is going to feel the ramifications of this game throughout the rest of this year, just because of how good both teams we think will be. And so hopefully we're the better team on Saturday. We'll get to our picks later, but absolutely massive game for both programs.
Z, you mentioned this a couple episodes ago. You don't really know about a team until week 4 or 5. So non-conference, you can kind of throw it out. There's so much moving parts now in college football. I've said, and I've got a lot of crap for my appreciation for Utah on the show at times, and Kyle Whittingham, and how I had them in the Big 12 championship game this year. They were my prediction to win the Big 12. And I also said that I think for Texas Tech, Conrad, I'll disagree with you. I think it's great it's on the road because this is a measuring stick game for Tech. If they go in on the road and show enough, or even if you lose, and we'll get into our predictions here in a second, but if you play well, if you show you belong with 2 offensive linemen that are first-round picks for Utah on the front side, if Texas Tech comes in and wins in the trenches, and maybe you lose by a field goal or something, you've shown me you're ready. Like, there's another team on your schedule that you can't compete with. And if you lose a tough road game, I'm going to have way more confidence in the Red Raiders moving forward than if you would have lost at home by a touchdown or 3. It's going to be a tough environment. I think it's a great opportunity for Texas Tech to go in and say, we are here. I hope they don't lose. I don't think they will. But I think this is an opportunity for Texas Tech to say, everything we put into this team for 2025 is ready, and we're going to go prove it this early in the season. It's a great, great chance for Texas Tech.
Yeah, Brennan, that's incredibly well said. I think this is going to be, there's an opportunity for Utah to blow out Tech. There's an opportunity for Tech to blow out Utah. Those outcomes exist on the range of probabilities. But when you look at the numbers, these are 2 really good teams, at least based on their preseason performance against both admittedly weak schedules, Tech being the weaker of the 2. But this is going to be a really good battle on paper. I totally agree with you, Brennan. I want to see, oh yeah, you can run with this team. This is a team that's won conference championships. They were terrible last year, but they've built a team that knows how to win. And they've shown that this style of roster building can work. They've built through the trenches. They'll have a good D-line. They'll have a good O-line. can you stack up with this? You're not going to see a better offensive line the rest of the Big 12 play. You're probably not going to see a bigger defensive line the rest of the Big 12. You may see some better edge rushers or some better positional guys, depending on who is or isn't out in the availability report. But yeah, you go in here and your defensive line and your offensive line look competent. I'm going to feel really, really good about the rest of the year.
Yeah, and Conrad, I said as well that you'll know everything you need to know about Texas Tech and how good they are based off this matchup. And I've even defended, I know a lot of people have said our schedule's been soft and we haven't played anybody, but when you dominate those teams and when you show how good you are, there's been a lot of teams across the Power Four that have struggled with lesser opponents. Texas Tech has not, but this is an opportunity on a national stage, big noon kickoff, Fox Sports, Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt calling the game for Texas Tech to make a statement and really put the rest of the Big 12 on notice.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it all offseason. It's like, this is time for Texas Tech to say, hey, we're here. This is our moment. All the investment that's been made into this program, Joey's fourth year, new great offensive coordinator, great defensive coordinator that has both units absolutely flying around. I mean, this is the moment where it comes to fruition on a national stage. And I'm excited that everybody's going to get to watch this game because there are going to be so many eyeballs on this game just seeing, okay, is Texas Tech for real? Is this team actually any different, or is this the same old Texas Tech? I think that's exciting for the university, for the players, for the program. And I think it's going to be something when you tune into this game and you look at the Red Raiders, you see the offense led by Barron, you see this defense led by, Skylar, Lee, Romello, David, J-Rod, like all these guys that you're going to see, you're going to be like, okay, that's a football team. That's what it can look like. That's what it should look like. And I think what you're going to see on Saturday is a team that comes out motivated. I think I would be absolutely shocked if we didn't come out on absolute fire on Saturday. I would. Like, I think everyone understands the magnitude of the moment like this. And so to have this moment with these guys, with this environment, you're just going to see, in my opinion, a Texas Tech team on a football field like you haven't seen in maybe a decade plus. And so I think that's going to be a huge thing for our university, but also a huge thing for those players. Clayton, are you buying, like, do you think Texas Tech is likely to come out on fire, or do you think there's a chance that there may be a lull there in the performance to start the game?
No, I think it would be incredibly disappointing if they came out flat. I know the game's at 10 a.m. local time, but they've played at 11 a.m. Central Time before. Interestingly enough, I went back. I don't think Utah. There's a chance they have never played a game this early at home. I went back to 2000, and the earliest they had played at home was 11 Mountain Time. So that is interesting. But I think the tendency would be for the home team in these settings to maybe come out flat. But I feel like the Tech's going to be locked in. Like, I would be surprised if Joey doesn't have them ready to go.
Zyler, or go ahead, Conrad.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, let me just ask you guys this. Do y'all think it helps Tech that it's the earliest game Utah's played since 2000, or do you think it hurts Tech? What are your thoughts there?
I think
it helps compared to what it could have been. If this was a 7 p.m. local kick, like, I think every single Utah fan would have taken that over that. Now, what is that advantage worth? Is it maybe worth a half point? Maybe it's worth a point. It's not. It's marginal. You still got to go out there. It's still going to be the same team on the field. Just maybe the environment is not as loud, but it's still going to be an amped environment. Like I said, it's a sellout. Every seat's going to be packed.
Yeah, as we well know, Z, as you've documented.
As we've documented.
What's the capacity of this stadium of Rice-Eccles?
I think it's 53,644 is what I think their highest capacity is announced. But I think it's like officially 51.
That's cute.
Have you guys been to Salt Lake City? Have y'all seen? I will defend Utah here as well. It's not going to be good for my brand, but gorgeous place, awesome university in terms of where it is. Hopefully Texas Tech ruins the day of many people in Salt Lake City. But Z, before we get to the player conversation too, I wanted to ask one question. If Texas Tech does not win, I feel like there's going to be so much pressure on this game. Like, hey, prove it. We've talked about it here on the show.
Sure.
To start off, but the season, it's one Big 12 game. You could still very much come out of this game with a loss, and your season's still in front of you. How much weight do you feel like and pressure there is for Texas Tech to go in and win? And as a fan base, should we be thinking, just show us you belong because the rest of the schedule is doable, or crap, we lost. Now our Big 12 dashes are over?
Yeah, It's obviously such a nice arrow to have in your quiver if you get this win for tiebreaker purposes. It's not the end of the world if you lose this game. Your season's still ahead of you. But the thing that stinks is you'll win this game. Whoever loses this game, especially if it's Tech, you go to 0-1, and then we have a bye. And so you'll go into week 6 0-1, and there might be teams that end that day 3-0 in the Big 12, and you maybe are 1-1, and so you'll be several games behind. And I know everybody still has to play 9 games. You'll get there. It's just you will not be anywhere close to the top of the leaderboard till probably toward the end of the season, and that's fine. Everybody still has to play 9 games. Nobody's going to get to play an extra one or play a lesser one, but you're going to have a climb back up, and your margin for error to guarantee a spot in the Big 12 title game is almost next to nothing at that point. So,
yeah, I agree. Well, with that, let's get to the Utah side of things. Who do we need to watch for from a Texas Tech perspective? What are some players to watch? We know about Devin Dampier, and we've talked some about their offensive linemen, but give us some other players to look out for this matchup, key matchups Texas Tech will be looking for, and ultimately what Texas Tech will need to do to win the game.
Yeah, if you've listened to any previews, you're going to hear the list of usual suspects. Devin Dampier, really, really elite runner, good quarterback, dynamic athlete, good player. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Wayshawn Parker is a player that you should be familiar with. You saw him at Washington State, and he ran all over you last year in week 2. So don't sleep on that guy. But they got another kid named Naqori Rogers. Really good back. They've got 2 really good running backs that they're going to trot out there. Ryan Davis is the other New Mexico transfer that comes over with Jason Beck and Devin Dampier, the best receiver of the group. The only one that I think is a consistent threat. They've got some downfield guys, but really he's the only one. And then Dallin Bentley's a tight end you're going to have to watch out for. And they've got some other ones there. The big story, and what most of the scouts are going to be watching, is what is Spencer Fano and what do Caleb Lamu look like against this defensive line, and conversely, how did we look against those tackles? Those guys, I was listening to a preview from a Utah guy, and they've allowed just very, very minimal pressures from those 2 guys. It's been just, if maybe some of those guys have one, but I don't think Fano has one all year. That's going to be a huge battle. Is what does that look like on the offensive side? Jason Beck's going to run kind of an up-tempo offense, but it's not an explosive offense. They want to hit you 6 yards, 8 yards, 4 yards, 12 yards, 5 yards. They want to move their way down the field pretty methodically, and they just haven't had a really big explosive element to their passing game. They can definitely hit you with explosive plays in the run game, but that's what you're going to have to be watching out for offensively, is if they're able to sustain drives over a long period of time, 12 play, 14 play drives, going to be tricky for you.
Okay. Well, Z, a lot's been made of Dampier's completion percentage. We've talked about it. He was like 57%, I believe, at New Mexico last year. He's been efficient in the passing game. They haven't asked him to do too much so far this year. Do you feel like that's really where Texas Tech is going to have to make Utah beat you, is through the air, try to shut down the run game as soon as possible, show that your front 4 belongs, and then make Dampier beat you with long, medium passes?
Yeah, and I think that's probably what Wyoming tried to do too. It's just much easier said than done. If we could just flip the button and say Dampier has to throw long passes, we'd flip that button every single play. They're going to do their best to not put themselves in situations like that. They just run really, really creative stuff that puts your linebackers in a lot of conflict and your edge guys in a lot of conflict, where they'll pull the left guard and the left tackle, and they're coming over on that right side, and he may hand the ball, or he's going to take it and run the other way. It's just, you gotta be really fundamentally sound, and you have to play your assignments if you want to match up with this rushing attack, and you're going to have to tackle in space. There's going to be a lot of one-on-one tackles where, hey, maybe it's a 1-yard loss or it's an 18-yard gain. There's going to be plenty of those. Can you win more of those situations than you lose? I know that Shield is probably going to try. Every defense wants to put offenses in 3rd and long. How do we find a way to stop the rushing attack is really where it comes down to. That's what they want to do. They're going to try to do that. And a lot of their passing is an extension of the rushing attack, where it's really short stuff designed to get their guys in space. Yeah. So if Dampier beats you with downfield passing, and he's just insane, 20-plus yards down the field, I think you tip your cap and say, well done. If that's how you got to take the L, you'll take the L that way.
Clayton, thoughts on Utah?
Yeah, I agree with everything Zyler said. I'm interested to see, because I feel like the way Utah wins a lot of games is their offensive line is just way better than the other team's defensive line. So even if Tech's D-line is not consistently beating them, if that's like a push, is that enough to like stifle their offense? Because I agree, like not only is downfield passing not one of Dampier's strength, I don't think, but they don't have a lot of guys that I feel like can really challenge you down the field. So if the trenches is just a wash, then where else could they go? And they're definitely I think they're gonna run the ball well for sure, but if you can stop them enough, they're gonna get into third down. So if you can be good on third down, I think you can have success on the defensive side of the ball.
Conrad, you've had your doubts on Utah and on Devin Dampier. What do you think? What do you think is going to happen on Saturday?
You trying to tee me up for all the Utah fans that are watching this far in?
I very much have. You're that guy, man. It's you wear it proud.
You see, the thing is here, like there's no there's no animosity from me at all towards Devin Dampier, other than he didn't complete the ball very much last year, which is not actually any animosity towards him at all. It's just the facts. I will say I'm interested to see what happens. I think I maybe just am so not anti-Utah, but I'm just not enamored with Utah because I think everyone on this podcast, maybe I don't think I probably did too last year. We all thought that Utah was going to be this magnificent team, and they were the second worst team in the Big 12 last year. And again, I know you're comparing last year to this year, all that stuff. I'm just not enamored with them as much. They're obviously much better this year than they were last year, just like Tech is. So it's not really that's neither here nor there. But I think Utah obviously is a great team with all the things that have been mentioned with the offensive line, with Dampier being mobile. I mean, that really does. Like if Zach Wilson was still the quarterback there, or not, not Zach Wilson, Isaac Wilson, if he was still the quarterback, no. Well, I know Cam Rising, rest in peace. But if Isaac Wilson was if Isaac Wilson was the quarterback, we'd win by 100. Like it wouldn't even be close. Like, could you imagine Romello and David teeing off on him? Just back to.
It was when we trotted out Jake Strong in Provo and said, "Let's hope this goes well."
That didn't go too well.
No, that did not go well. But I think Utah. I mean, Utah. They're a good program. Obviously, historically, they've been great. Kyle Whittingham's a good coach. I think their time is over. To be honest, I think it's kind of going down from here. And I'm not necessarily a big believer in Utah. I guess I'm just more of a believer in Texas Tech.
Yeah, one thing I really like about this matchup too is just kind of the disdain that these fan bases have started to get for each other that have no history. It's a fantastic, like, I feel like this is going to be one of the toughest games of the whole entire Big 12 slate. Like these fan bases have grown to not like each other. Yes, Utah has a holy war with BYU, but it feels like they really don't like. I mean, I'm sure they hate them. I can't speak for Utah fans, but they want someone else to really hate it. Like, we're in the Big 12, we run it. Texas Tech spent all this money, and then Tech needs a really good rival kind of now in this new modern era. I feel like this could be I hope it's physical. I hope it's ugly. I hope it's chirpy. Like, I want to see just the physicality of Texas Tech on display against a team that has always been deemed to be one of the more physical teams in the country and so well coached with Kyle Whittingham. I love the storylines that are going into this matchup as well, outside of just what's going on in the game. I would love, love, love to come out of Salt Lake City with a win because, oh man, I mean, the
hype train would be
real. The Kool-Aid factory, Conrad would be humming, and our Twitter feed would be fantastic.
Brennan, what is it going to be like to watch your two favorite teams play on the same field on Saturday?
Okay, can we get in just 30 seconds? I was a big Cam Rising guy. Okay, and you know why?
Which is the craziest quarterback to
I'll explain why.
It makes no sense.
I hated Caleb Williams in USC. I can't stand Caleb Williams. Might be one of my least favorite athletes. And when he was at USC, and guess who had their number? Utah Cam Rising. And I loved watching them out physical this fruity boy who paints his nails. It drove me nuts. And I love seeing Utah beat him. So I rooted for Utah. And then going into last year with Cam Rising, I thought Utah's going to be really good. And he got hurt in typical Cam fashion. So that's it though. I'm not I haven't been worshiping Utah since the Urban Meyer days or anything. I just respected the fact that they beat USC. I don't want you. I'm not
That's
a
fair.
Utah fan.
If you will,
If
nobody
that's how
was
you
obviously
wanna
there.
spin it,
Brennan
that's
also
fine.
used to love the Washington Cougars when Leach was up
Yes.
there.
Oh,
we used to watch those
we
late night Pac-12
we would
games.
stay up till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. watching those
Oh
games.
yeah.
Yeah.
Who was the linebacker that they had that had like the Greek god name? It was like Zeus or Hercules or something. I cannot remember his
dude.
name.
I mean, yeah, you
bad
you had,
podcasting.
you got Luke
Nobody cares.
Falk and Gardner Minshew, Connor Holiday. I
Yeah.
could name the Wazoo quarterbacks, but how do you not like kind of latch onto them with Leach? You know,
Yeah.
it just was an easy route for. So yeah, man, I like
Yep.
finding Cinderella stories, and Utah was that in the Pac-12, so I rooted for them. But that's it.
It's very
I
easy
hope-
to root for a program that's down on their luck like
Yeah,
Utah.
I hope they
it's
get their
always
butts
nice
handed
to
to
pull
them
for a
on
team like that.
Saturday.
Yeah.
I got a note off of that.
of the
Caleb
two-
Williams.
Oh,
Go
give
ahead,
us the
Clayton.
note. Anything that slanders
yes.
Caleb, I'm for.
It's actually not slandering Caleb. It's slandering
Ah.
Utah. So the last time they beat USC was week 8 of 2023 when they beat Caleb Williams. Since then, they played 20 regular season games. They're 10-10. I'm about to read you the list of quarterbacks that they beat in those 10 games. You may want to hold your nose for this. It's pretty bad. They've beaten Clayton Anderson at Wyoming, Ty Diefenbach at Cal Poly in his second career start, Nico Iamalava, Dylan Risk at UCF, who transferred to Stanford and got beat out by literally the worst QB I've seen this season. Alan Bowman, no other explanation needed with that one. Bryson Barnes, career backup to Cam Rising, and then transferred down to Utah State. DeQuan Finn, who Baylor's entire season turned around when he got replaced in the starting lineup. Jackson Berry making his first career start. Ryan Staub making his first career start. And Jacob Conover making his first career start. That's the 10 QBs that they've beaten since Caleb Williams.
Wow. I did not think Clayton was going to go on a rampage against quarterbacks here on this episode, but that was awesome.
Wow, Clayton, what you're saying is USC was Utah's Super Bowl.
That is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
And mine,
Okay.
apparently.
And yours.
Yeah. But back to my final point real quick, then we'll get to our predictions. I just feel like for Texas Tech and what this is built up to be, it does matter. It's obviously important, and you want to start 1-0. And if you win on the road, it's more impressive than winning at home at times too. But with your Big 12 schedule and with everything you got, I mean, you're looking. If I know Coy Aiken and Joey and everyone he talks about, it's a nameless team, it's a faceless team, it's what's next, it's 1-0. But as fans and as opinion podcast guys, we're allowed to look farther and farther ahead and just seeing what you've got on your schedule. It's like, man, if you can steal one on the road, and then you get Houston on the road, and then you've got a home game against Kansas, and then you've got Arizona State on the road. If you could go 3-1 in that 4 stretch, but win this game, maybe you drop one.
Yeah.
I'm feeling really, really good about your Big 12 chances. And I could say the same for Utah. So I think the winner of this game will play in Arlington. That's a take I'm willing to die on that hill for.
Yeah, if you follow SP Plus, which is that and kind of FER, the gold standard, these teams have very clearly separated themselves at the top of the Big 12, at least from the analytical power ranking side. Now, the top 2 teams on the power ranking side didn't make the Big 12 title last year, so there's arguments for and against, but it is a very clear chasm right now with these 2 programs, and I mean they are right there next to each other. So huge game just for perception and then pole position on making the Big 12 title. They're gonna, I want to touch real briefly on the defense. The things that I like about this is that they play a lot of man. Morgan Scalley is known for developing just monster DBs. They play a ton of man. We would prefer man. It's just man. These guys are going to run man defense in a way that maybe is not as ideal. I feel okay about attacking this defense, although it's the best defense you've maybe played in 2 or 3 years. This is going to be a defense that is, think about Iowa State, but better. Some of those teams where it was like, golly, can we just get 1 first down before we punt it? That's where I'm a little worried. I worry about our offensive line holding up. Howard Sampson and Ponton have been good-ish. Our guards have been good to bad-ish, and Sheridan Wilson's been good. That's where I think I'll be looking for. That's the battle that I'll be looking for the most, is what does our offensive line look like against a real pass rush and a real rushing attack? Can we run between the tackles? If we go a quarter and it's just like Barron has no time and the rushing attack is not working, it could be a long day. That's the one thing that I'm sitting here thinking that I'm not fully sold that we have a good offensive line yet.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We haven't seen it against a top defensive front yet either. So, okay, I want to switch it up. We typically save Tech predictions, but I'm too excited to get y'all's predictions on this game. We'll get to our national pick'ems and everything after, but let's go ahead and predict the final score for Texas Tech in Utah. Conrad, I'll start with you first. Who's coming out with a W in Salt Lake City on Saturday afternoon?
Yeah, I feel really good about this game. I feel really good about our team, our players, the staff that's in place, the place the program is in. I mean, this is it. This might be. I mean, it's not the Big 12 championship, but we've talked about it before. It may as well. This could be a preview of it. Is this going to be? We could be sitting here in December, getting ready to go to Arlington, and this is a rematch of that if everything goes well for both teams. And so, I think Tech's going to win, though. I think everything is moving in the right direction for us. Injuries we're good there. I mean, you're missing some guys, but overall, I think the team's in a good place. I think the team has showed that they are at the level we thought they were coming into the year, and maybe even a little bit better, as Clayton said in the last episode. And so I'm going to go Texas Tech to win 31-24. I think it'll be a touchdown victory. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think you're going to see this team that's obviously been invested into heavily come out on top when it matters most. And so I'm going to go Texas Tech to win 31-24.
All right, Clayton.
Yeah, a couple things before I get to my score. So I went through the quarterbacks that they have beaten. They've also faced 10 good QBs in this time. Some of these definitely better than Barron, some worse. Rocco, Shadur Sanders, Jake Retzlaff, Josh Hoover, Sam Levitt, Noah Fafita twice, Michael Penix, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams. Those QBs have put up 251 yards a game, 2 touchdowns, 0.4 interceptions, 31 points a game. So I think there are points to be had on this defense, and I think this is the best offense that Utah will face this year. This might be the best defense that Tech will face, but I think you can put up points on them. And Kyle Whittingham is 18-55 in his career at Utah when giving up 28 points. So I think if you can get it into a shootout, you'll win the game. And I think you do put up 28. I'll pick Tech 30-24.
All right, we've got a 30-24, a 31-24, and Clayton's coming with scientific facts to back his prediction, Zyler. So top of that.
Yeah, there's so many things that I could talk about, so many angles that I could approach this game from. I think there's so many strength on strength battles when you look at third down conversion percentage, early down EPAs on both sides of the ball. Lots of ways that you can talk yourself into Utah and lots of ways that you could talk yourself into Tech. I think for me, this is the first big game in the last 2 to 3 years where I can think schematically and from a player personnel perspective that I can actually envision us winning this game in a variety of different fashions. Usually, when I think about Iowa State last year or some of those games, it's like, if we can force 3 turnovers and do some crazy stuff, we'll have a chance to win the game. I think you can play you can bring an A game. You can maybe bring an A- game and win here if you get a rough Utah performance. There are plenty of times in the past where I've thought we just don't have the dogs. We don't have the coaches. We don't have the trenches to really put up a fight in most matchups. I believe in this staff. I believe in the coordinators a lot. This is not like me to pick Tech in a big spot. I've been burned in this area plenty of times. But I think you find a way to get it done. I think you stand tall in the red zone and you force some field goals when they're inside that area where you can really clamp down on the rushing attack. I think the Utah receivers not being able to make enough difference is a huge deal on third downs. And I think you hit just enough explosive plays to win this one 24-20. I don't feel super confident about that, but I think you'll have a really good shot here. I think you can match up with this team, and I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, well, we are a Texas Tech podcast. And so when your 4 hosts all pick Texas Tech, people are going to think, hey, these guys are probably really biased and just going to pick Tech every game. But we're going to go and continue that trend. I'm also picking Texas Tech. I don't care that we're a Tech podcast. Look, this is something that has been built up for a long time to go win games like this. You paid for the roster. You brought guys in. You've kept guys on your team for this reason, to go win road games in the Big 12 and compete for a Big 12 championship game. And Z, to your point, we've been burned a lot in this scenario where it's like, man, it's finally the year. It's finally the time. And then you lose to TCU on a heartbreak, or you lose to Colorado at home. And there's moments where you're close. I feel like this is a moment and Joey's prepared and has these guys ready to go. And we've talked to these players. They are mature, they're disciplined, and they're ready. And they're not shying away from the fact that they want the pressure and it's their time. And I think you've got the team to win this game. Now, can you go execute? Can you go do that? We'll find out on Saturday. But I believe in this team, man. And I believe in these guys. And from what I've seen the first 3 weeks, it's really changed my opinion. I did not think we'd be bad, but I've been more impressed by the skill that you have. And then watching Utah and how bad UCLA was and how they kind of struggled offensively against Wyoming, I feel like this sets up well for you. And so I've got Tech winning 34-28. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be hard. But the confidence that this could do if you go win a one-score game on the road in your first Big 12 game with all the road woes you've had and all the close calls you've had in the Big 12, talk about an elevation for your season. I think we're going to find a way to get it done. And I like Barron Morton to play well, by the way. I know we've talked a lot about Barron Morton's road games. I think this is a time for Barron on a national stage. He's been a little disrespected. Not a lot of people talking about Barron Morton on national levels. I saw Joel Klatt and Josh Pate came out with an updated top 10 QB. Barron's nowhere to be found. And he's had a great 3 games. So I expect Barron to go out and show that he belongs in the upper echelon of Big 12 quarterbacks.
I would love to talk, and I think that's a great prediction. I'd love to talk a little bit more about what you guys are expecting from Barron this Saturday. I still remain, I don't know. He's delivered like the Kansas game in Lawrence in 2023, that final Iowa State drive in 2024. He's had some really awesome moments on the road. The Baylor game in 23, really, really good performance. I think that was 23. Yeah, on the road. That's like the last one that I can remember him having just a really good top to bottom, great performance on the road. And I think a lot of that had to do with a really lackluster McLean environment. I just, man, can he step up and deliver an A game, where it's like, yeah, this is a top 10 Barron game all time. That would be awesome. How confident do I feel in that is where I struggle a little bit.
Well, what is it? Is it what 50%, 90%?
Yeah.
What is the confidence?
Like what do you think? What do you think the stat line where what's the worst stat line that you would take from Barron right now and feel better than 50% confident that you won the game? It's kind of how I like to think about it. And if he throws for 275 yards with 3 touchdowns and an interception, I feel pretty good.
I think we win. Yeah.
I think you'd win if that's the stat line, unless your defense really struggles.
275, 2 touchdowns and an interception. What about that?
Yeah. No, I think if Barron, I would love 0 turnovers, but 1 turnover, I'd be very okay with if he plays well and manages the game outside of that.
Yeah, I think looking at what's so interesting about Barron, obviously, is you've got to just think about all the different twists and turns his career's taken at Texas Tech, obviously with the 4 different offensive coordinators, with coming in under Wells, obviously being here with Coach McGuire, and then being behind Tyler Shuck, and then finally being the guy. And, it's a whole lot of different things that have happened. But if you've watched closely this year, and we have, and I know many Red Raiders have, he's not the same player now that he was even last year. Obviously, the health concern, but there's also a confidence level back there that is, I've never seen him play with this. I mean, he's throwing passes. He's sailed some balls. He's missed some stuff, but I think the confidence level you're seeing from him is a level that you just haven't seen. And that's what you should expect, right? A 5th-year senior, that's exactly what you should expect. And so I'm not sitting here right now. We'll release this Thursday morning. It's Wednesday right now. I am not concerned in the slightest that he's going to have a bad game. I mean, that's within the realm of possibilities, but I don't think it's likely just because of all those factors I just listed. I'm just not, and maybe again, it's my rose-colored glasses for Texas Tech and how well he's played this far, but I don't know. Thinking about that, and this is what he's worked for. Unless Utah comes out and does something crazy, I just really don't see him playing a bad game in Salt Lake City. Thoughts? Rebuke me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm just crazy off base.
His best ability is being really freaking good in a clean pocket. There's plenty of quarterbacks that just can't be really good in that. They're just fine, and then they're okay under pressure, and that averages out to a bad QB. He's just not very good under pressure. When he gets pressured, that ball gets out early. It's not on time. That's where I'm like, and I'm almost more concerned about the line Can they give him enough? They're not going to win 100% of the pass reps. You can't expect that against a Power 5 team. But, man, do they give him enough shots? Does he start to press? What does Leftwich look like when our offensive scheme gets punched in the face? We do 2, 3 and outs back to back.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like? What does it look like when we can't run the ball and they don't respect the run and they drop 9? Those are just the unknowns that I haven't seen in this scheme. I've never seen Leftwich call a game on the road in a Texas Tech, coordinator role. I've never seen Barron in this offense on the road.
Yeah.
Those are things that I just don't know yet. And I'll caution people to not take too much from this performance. This will be one of the best. This is a top 10 defense in the country. This is one of the hardest challenges you quite literally could face. This is SEC level defense good. So he's going to be up against it for sure.
Are you worried? Like, how many sacks do you think we let up on Saturday?
3.
I was going to say 2.
Clayton,
Bear's just not that escapable. He's like
Yeah.
we used to say this last year. He's like the most sackable quarterback in the pocket.
Yeah, and I think for me too, Clay, before I get your thoughts, we've wanted to see Barron. We talked about this all offseason when we did our quarterback conversation was, can he go win you a game on the road? Barron's going to have to go win you a game. You've got the talent on the defensive front. You've got the skill players. But when it comes down to winning a game on the road against a top 10, 15 team, your quarterback has to play exceptionally well. We haven't necessarily seen Barron do that through the course of an entire road game. Injuries aside, health aside, this is a tough spot for him for sure. And I don't want to say if Barron doesn't play well, Barron's not the guy. I'm not going to overreact to a poor performance against a tough defense on the road. But it is a moment for him to show doubters and pessimistic attitudes. Like, hey, guys, like I'm healthy. I'm finally here, and I've got a good line. The guys, I'm ready to go do this. Is that fair, Clay?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I feel like the Iowa State game last year kind of put to bed a lot of the concerns I had about his road game performance. And I know he, in the middle of that game, he was not playing well. And I definitely think you lose this game if he goes through that. But the way he came through in the fourth with the 98-yard drive, converting those fourth downs in a really tough environment, similar to Rice Eccles, because he's had other, kind of what you said, he's had other good moments on the road. He definitely hasn't played 4 good quarters on the road against a good team, but I think that's tough to do. And I think I have faith in him to do it. I think the scheme this year, he looks better in the scheme than he did in Kitley's, and I think you have athletes on the perimeter that you can get him some easy throws and they can still get yards after the catch. So I expect a good game, even if he has a couple, or hopefully not, I guess, more than 2, 3 and outs. But I expect him to play well.
Yeah. I can't wait, man. There's so many storylines for both. It's just honestly one of the most anticipated games, I think, for Texas Tech I've had in a very long time. So I can't wait for it. Let's get to our pick'em for some other games. This has not been great, man. Pick'em, I'm kind of batting 190 here, I think, so far this year. Has not been pleasant. So let's move through these, and we'll close with our top 25 release for the week before the weekend. SMU TCU, the Iron Skillet, last one. Sonny Dykes, Rhett Lashley matchup here. Who we've got? TCU going to take care of SMU at home?
Go Frogs.
Yeah, I got TCU as well.
Pony up, baby.
I don't think SMU is very good.
Conrad's not picking TCU, man.
Pony up, baby.
Yeah,
let's go.
TCU could play Ponies. Texas Women's University, and he would pick the Women's University.
It was 66-42 last year, by the way. SMU over TCU. So we'll find out if TCU's defense is improved. I've got the Pony as well. We'll go 2 for 2 on that one.
Let's go, baby. D-Town up here.
D-Town. Okay. Hey, big game right here. ASU and Baylor. Interesting game. Maybe more of a must-win for Baylor coming off. What do we think here? Who do we like? I don't really know where to go with this game, honestly. I'm going to pick Baylor just because of Sawyer Robertson.
Is Dave Aranda distracted by the UCLA opening? That's the big question that everybody's pondering.
Could be.
Does he want to get back to the West Coast? I'm going to take Arizona State.
Okay.
I'm taking Baylor. I don't like what I've seen from ASU so far.
Have you liked what you've seen from Baylor so far?
I like what I've seen from Baylor's offense. At least they have one side of the ball.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And Xavier Alford's going to be out.
This,
No, I'm going to change it. I'm changing it to Baylor. I think Baylor's going to be.
Okay.
They'll score 40 plus. I think.
Okay, so we've
Zyler,
got
I was about to say
two
Zyler.
Baylor.
Even I'm gonna pick Baylor. I was like
I'm
Zyler.
taking
Even
Baylor.
I'm gonna. You know. I guess now we're a Baylor podcast. No, I think Baylor's offense is too good, and I'm fading Arizona State. Honestly, I'm fading Arizona State big time. I'm just not. I'm not a believer anymore.
A lot of people are. Okay, let's get to some big national games too. We got to have enough pick'ems where we can decide how bad or good we are at this. Auburn, Oklahoma in Norman. Good matchup. Return of Jackson Arnold to Norman. What do we think?
Dude, Oklahoma is going to kill Auburn. I am like, I've never been more confident in a week 4 game in September in my life. Oklahoma wins by
points? How many points? 3 touchdowns?
24.
Okay.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Sorry, Travis Eubanks. I know you listen. Big Auburn fan. I think, yeah, it's going to be tough.
I'm with Zyler. I think OU is going to slaughter them. Jackson Arnold literally cannot throw the ball. He can only run, and that's not good news if you're facing a defense as good as OU. I also, looking ahead, I cannot wait for OU Texas, man. The narratives going into that game, and if OU wins, are going to be so funny.
Totally agree,
Absolute
Conrad.
cinema, as the kids would say. Yeah, can I? I'll just say I need a response to this, though. What I'm going to say. Boomer.
Conrad,
I'm not. I'm not.
Give me a suit.
It's like if there's any chance to glaze an SEC team.
No, that's not true. No, I need a Sooner. Somebody give me a Sooner. We got to finish.
No
it.
one's giving you a Sooner.
Can't leave it.
I'm picking
no
OU
one's
to
giving me a
win.
Sooner.
The most annoying fight song in all of college football.
Oh my gosh, drives me
It
crazy.
truly is. It truly. No, OU. I mean, I've said it. I've owned my mistake. John Mateer is absolutely legit. I was so wrong. I think he's going to go out there and show. I mean, he's unbelievable.
This is the same guy that thinks Arch Manning is
Zyler's
generational,
disappointed
just
me.
so everybody knows.
Oh my gosh, dude. I mean,
John Mateer is incredible. Like you can't lie. Like John Mateer is unbelievable.
John's replaced the Arch Love. He had to find one SEC quarterback to do it. It's now John.
I still think Arch is going to be fine. That's neither here nor there, though.
We'll see.
Based on what? Based on what?
His last name.
His last name, absolutely, dude. He's played.
Do you know who his dad is?
Yeah, I know who his dad is.
He's not the son of Peyton or Eli. He doesn't have the genes, dude.
He's
Okay,
like
all
if
right.
Eli Manning actually wasn't that talented.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's so
hey, well,
funny.
I've got OU as well. I like the Sooners here at home. All right, let's get this quickly. Florida, Miami. Does Florida's fall continue?
I'm taking the Gators. Big redemption for Billy Napier.
Okay, I like that.
Wow. That's
Yep.
shocking to
Wow.
me. I'm taking Miami.
Miami.
I'm so in on the Miami hype train.
Z, I am joining you, and I am taking Florida because I can't stand Carson Beck. It's purely
Really?
a hard decision. Yes, I think Carson Beck's so
Yeah.
annoying. He's ugly too. he thinks
Who's
he's
more
so
annoying, Arch
attractive.
Manning or Carson Beck?
my
Carson
gosh,
Beck,
dude.
Who's more
Carson
annoying?
Beck. Carson Beck is obnoxious.
Carson Beck is legitimately a good quarterback, though.
Yeah, his talent. I don't like it. It's not about the talent. It's like the Caleb Williams thing for me. I just don't like it. Okay. Okay. Michigan, Nebraska. Is Nebraska back? We were just talking about their sellout streak earlier in the show. Are they going to knock off Bryce Underwood and the Wolverines?
No.
I agree. I accidentally took Nebraska in our pick'em, and I'm hating myself for it because they're not going to beat a ranked team. So as long
Even
as Matt Rule's there,
even
they're
at
going to
home.
lose.
Okay.
No.
He's lost plenty of
Yeah,
home
fair.
ranked
That's fair.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Michigan.
All right. Well, I'll go Nebraska. Someone's going to do it. I've got to get some points back here. When you're in last place, you
Yeah.
got to find a way. All right. Last one, Clayton, your favorite team, the Illinois Fighting Illini. We know how much you love them. They beat Indiana at home or on the road, should I say?
No, I think they cover. I think they keep it close, but I like Indiana to win.
Okay.
Yep. I like Indiana.
Indiana.
Really, guys? I'll join you on this one. I also like Indy. Kirk Signetti, man, guy's getting a lot of heat. He's going to find a way to have a top 10 home win. So, all right, well, we'll keep track of that. Let you guys know how we did on Monday on our reaction. Before we go, we are releasing a weekly top 25. We think the AP poll is ludicrous. So do a lot of you, our shufflers, which, by the way, we get a lot of heat for telling everyone to subscribe early on in the episode. If you're 50 minutes in and have still not subscribed and enjoy, it's on the bottom of your screen there. I have not mentioned once. Do us a favor and subscribe and tell your friends. It helps us grow, helps the show. We appreciate it. Thank you all for tuning in.
Another message, too. If you're 50 minutes in and you're listening and you're choosing not to subscribe, I would love to hear it in the comments.
Yes,
that would be
really
why. Funny.
Tell us why you
Tell
don't.
us why.
Yeah.
Is it Conrad? Is it Conrad and his takes on the SEC? If so, we'll fix it.
If it's Arch Manning,
if it's
you can
Conrad,
let me know. I'll still probably back it up.
We could start an SEC versus Big 12 pod on the side, a different show or something. See,
3-on-1.
Ain't nobody got time for
that. But anyways, okay, top 25. We have got some interesting teams here, and Texas Tech is a lot closer than you might think. It's going to show up on the screen, but I'll go ahead and read it to you. We've got Ohio State number 1, Miami number 2, which ranked number 4 AP. Why is Miami so high, fellas?
They have the best 2 wins. They're the best pairing of wins for any team in the country.
Okay, that sounds fair enough.
That's my reason.
Hey, I think that's a smart reason. Like I said, I think we know more than the AP voters do. We have going down the list: Georgia, LSU, Penn State, Florida State at 7, A&M at 8 after a big win at Notre Dame, OU at 9, Texas dropping to 10 in our top 25. The Arch Manning belief is slowly diminishing for the majority of the Broadway Shuffle. Maybe not one of us, but we'll keep Texas in the top 10. We've got a school right below them, the Texas Tech Red Raiders. We have them at 11. This is, again, before the Utah game. So if Texas Tech beats Utah, fellas, do we move Texas Tech into the top 10? Can we get a sneak peek into Monday's AP Broadway Shuffle poll? Where would Tech rise to, you think, if they win against Utah?
I think it's clear we're the number 1 team in the nation if we beat Utah. I don't think
I
it's
would
a
expect
question.
nothing less from the Kool-Aid, baby.
If you look at SP Plus, Bill Conley posted this. If you took out all sort of preseason priors, the number 1 team in the country this year so far is Texas Tech, based on how they've performed in their games. So I will just be following smarter people than I'll be ranking them number 1.
There's few of those. See, I've got to be honest. There's few of them. All right, I like it. Well, the hype train, including on the Broadway Shuffle, will be real if Tech does beat Utah. Moving down the list, Iowa State at 12, Alabama 13. So Alabama's hanging in there for us. USC, this is a team that wasn't even ranked to start the year. We've got them up at 14. So, Conrad, I know it makes you happy to see Lincoln Riley back up.
Texas Tech graduate. Texas Tech. Some of us root for our own. Others don't.
I don't.
We'll leave that there.
Not when they coach Caleb Williams. Tennessee 15, and then we've got Utah at 16. So kind of right where the AP's got him. We've got Utah right there in the top 20, and then Vandy up to 17 after win at South Carolina, and then rounding it out, Georgia Tech, Illinois, Ole Miss, Auburn, Mizzou, Mississippi State. This was one that I found really surprising, guys. Mississippi State moving into the top 25. Zyler, maybe your vote wasn't there.
Me.
But they have snuck their win. Clay,
they beat the defending Big 12 champs. I got to give them their respect.
Yeah, and we
ASU
can't say how
trash.
we've got a secret sauce to our Broadway Shuffle poll. We can't say how. So it's not all of it. Z may not have had Mississippi State in there, but it's what the analytics said on
I will out
secret.
Zyler. I will out Zyler. Last week on his top 25, he did not have Florida State in the top 25 at all.
Oof.
Absurd.
That's an oversight. That's an oversight.
Okay, well,
I would
like
be a bad AP poll voter.
the algorithm changes week to week, man. It depends. What we've got the right algorithm here. Then Michigan and USF rounding it out. We kept USF in there off a loss to Miami. Shout out to the Bulls. Are they the Bulls? I like
Bulls.
USF, man. Yeah.
I am glad we got the most fraudulent team of 2025 out of the top 25, and that being South Carolina. They're almost to 50 in the analytical rankings. That team is dog water this year. Not a good team.
No Clemson either, who just to, again, keep accountability here on the show was my pick to play in the national title game. So barring a crazy turnaround, I look like one of the
Brennan
stupidest
does not know
podcast hosts
ball.
in America.
What's dumber?
Clemson is
what's
1
dumber,
and 2.
You're what?
Clemson is 1-2 actually, but they're 0-3 spiritually. That Troy game was terrible.
Yes, it feels like that. Trust me.
Yep.
Hey, let us
Same with
know
Kansas
what's
State.
worse. My support for Arch Manning and still belief that he's going to be a good quarterback in the comments, or Brennan's take that Clemson was going to be in the national championship.
Okay, hold on. Clemson was ranked 4th to start the year.
I can't let Brennan go down alone
in
on
the
this because I
AP
also
poll?
had them.
Yeah, I had Clemson in the playoff.
Thank you. Okay, so like they were ranked 4th, and a ton of people were high on them, and they were returning. And I had Cade Klubnik and Dabo. Like saying Clemson was going to play in the Natty was not outrageous.
No.
Yeah, but acting like Arch is a complete failure after starting 5 games and playing 3 games in this year is absolutely absurd as well.
You and Paul Feinbaum need a show where you just talk about Arch Manning and how none of this is his fault.
Could you imagine a Conrad and Paul Feinbaum show?
That would not be fun.
Any chance you think Paul, like if we make the playoff and play, I don't know, Georgia, you think there's a chance we could get Paul on the show?
No.
If there is one guy I would love nothing more than to get on here.
No.
What a buffoon, man. I would love
my
that.
dream guest is Urban Meyer unscripted. That's my dream guest.
Oh, man.
So,
a tell-all with Urban Meyer.
Hey,
maybe we'll get it, man. Well, hey, if you're going out to Salt Lake City, we know a few of you guys are. Enjoy the game. Be safe. Have a ton of fun. And take some of those tickets that are still left. You can find them on Utah's website. Just go to the University of
sold
Utah
out game.
football. Yes, it's not sold out yet. Go find tickets. We will be back on Monday to react to the Texas Tech versus Utah game. So everyone enjoy the weekend. Good luck and wreck 'em, man. We will see you guys on Monday. Thanks for tuning in.
He makes the catch. He's going all the way.